but it sounds fine. Like this.
Now everybody, have you heard? If you're into the game, then stroke's the word. Don't take no rhythm, don't take no style. I'm just kidding, now you're lying. Give a firm handshake, like me, by the one big way.
ça parle plus long.
Come aboard?
Sure.
Wow. Yeah. Hey guys, this is Elder Labrador. This is my crew. Daughter Melissa, they
Good
were
job,
today.
everyone.
Did you both build the canoe? Or
Yeah.
was it? Yes.
This one that we paddled, her and I both built it last summer.
So we've all gone and looked at the canoe under glass. Today we got to see
help.
Oh, yes, they
a
got
canoe underway. To me, the living history of it and to see it move is just, that's the coolest thing ever. It really is. It's great to see stuff in the museum. We can't have it all there. But to
And
see it
those two little
on the
ones
water
help
moving,
too. Oh,
big
yes.
builder. It's,
Yeah.
that really is.
It's been great. I mean, even for us, sort of thought about doing this, you know, but didn't know it would ever happen.
Yeah.
It's great. And it's great that it happened at the anniversary,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
because earlier in the spring we talked about great grandfather building the mast hoops, and so that was great to be able to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
How did you get all the supplies down there when this is all built?
Well, they have
They have doors to go down.
Yes, pass it down through, or some of the big stuff like the engines, they put them in first and then they put the rest on top. Yeah, yeah. But if we're taking groceries, then we just form a big line and just pass it all and pass it down.
But
Yeah.
if it's just stuff, you know, like an apple, you just chuck it down. But like eggs, don't chuck it.
That's right. You guys have questions for Elder Labrador? I know Megan is just
Sure.
beyond excited.
That's an ocean ferry.
Yeah.
One of the things I was thinking about is when it's super foggy at the ocean, What were the forms of navigation?
Well, you know, I've heard stories. I suppose they got lost, but but I heard an elder told me out in Bay of Fundy that they went out porpoise hunting, and these canoes at in Kedwakujik National Park on the petroglyphs on the rocks, they're actually petroglyphs of these canoes and hunting whale. So they actually hunted whale out of these and harpooned them. But the elder told me they went out off Digby, and the fog come in quick, and he said they didn't know where they were until they hit shore in Matagan, and they were basically in the fog. You know, you just don't know. So it would have been very dangerous. They didn't have GPS then. Yeah.
What's with the designs on the sail? What is the significance of the designs
The,
on the
the
sail?
design on the sail was put on by my daughter Melissa, and in Kedwakujik also. Our family, the Labrador family actually lived over here.
By the fire hall
Okay.
area.
But in Keji, the other side of my family, the Jeremy and Luxie side, lived up there. So the petroglyphs on Keji, there's some images, and the one image is many curves, and we call it Mawiomi, which means gathering of people. So she put part of it on. We're still not finished. It's a work in progress. We have to finish it, but that would be the Mawiomi.
How do you actually like build the canoe? It's like you can see the patches of different pieces of bark. Like,
That's-
how do you choose the right trees and how do
Yeah.
you actually stitch them all together?
Well, great grandfather he was born in 1874 and died in 1961. They interviewed him, and Melissa found an article in the newspaper in the archives, 1930 something, and he said you need a birch tree 24 inches across at the butt, and then 18 feet long or 7, and one tree would make a canoe. Well, we've never seen a birch tree 24 inches, so we see a lot of different trees, and for us, it's not the size of the tree, it's the quality and thickness of the bark. So some trees can be 8 inches, but if the bark is good quality, we can use pieces. So the pieces may be 16 inches by 2 feet. So the main thing is the starter strip. So on the bottom, you need a piece at least 6 feet long, but it has to go wide enough to come up the side a little bit. When it comes up the side, we can add another piece on the side, and we sew everything with spruce root. So the canoe we just paddled has more than 1,000 feet of spruce root holding it together. And you know, great grandfather didn't have to use a lot of root like we do because he had big bark. But so we sew all the pieces together. So although they're all birch trees, they all have different colors. So we say it's like people, where our skin is all different colors, but when you put it all together and work together, that's what you create. You know, something really beautiful that all works together, and you can go out and come back without running into the great white shark, and we're happy. But I hear that there were some dolphins out there today, and my daughter was talking about the great white shark that might be out here. So I'm glad the dolphin didn't come by us, because he would have said, "Paddle, Dad, paddle." But yeah. Yeah.
There must have been a lot of lost knowledge that you didn't get the complete instructions on how to build it.
No.
So you had to take what you had and extrapolate. Is there a big thing that you learned by yourself that you're particularly interested in?
Well, you know, and that's so true. Great grandfather died in 1961, but he raised my father. My father lost his father when he was about 5 years old. My father's father went to Vimy Ridge and came back with one leg missing, and today we call it post-traumatic stress disorder. So he didn't live long after he came back, and so great grandfather Joe Jeremy basically raised my father Charlie Labrador, and so my father grew up watching great grandfather make baskets, axe handles, mast hoops, birch bark canoes. So growing up on the Wildcat Reserve, that's what I heard. All the stories. So I didn't know how to build a canoe because he didn't know how to do it, but he knew how to get bark, knew how to harvest materials. So I just kept trying, looking, asking questions, looking at pictures, and mostly how I learned was from the material. You know, because I didn't have elders to tell me how to use the material actually told me how to use it. So, you know, the material will teach you, but you have to be a good student because you can't ask questions and you can't argue with the material. But if it breaks, then there's a reason it breaks. So you have to figure out, okay, why did it break? Then you learn about the grain. You learn about how do I bend it without breaking it. So I use heat and hot water and things like that, and yeah. So I think the material was my biggest teacher. You know, you have to be patient. If you don't have patience, don't try to build a birch bark canoe. But you know, and I'm still learning. You know, it's the nice thing about it is every tree will teach you something. Yep.
On that canoe, is that made of the same as the oars or the?
No. And because I didn't know a lot about that, I had a pole that I used for making birch bark wigwam. Like I make a birch bark wigwam, and so I said I need a mast for my canoe, so I used one of those poles. It was spruce, so it was dried out, nice and light, but very strong, and not very long. But so it worked out really well. And the setup is pretty basic, you know, just a hole in the middle and something to hold it. And I used a little bit of modern technology as well. Like, but it all worked out, and because the sail itself is basically, it's very basic. You know, if you're going with the wind, you're lucky, but if you're going against the wind, you can't use your sail. You know, probably unlike this. You know, I don't know.
We still have, we can't go straight into the wind.
Okay. So you got to go, yeah.
You have to listen.
Oh. Yeah. Good. I just finished one yesterday at Kedge-Makujik National Park. It's a 16-footer. That was number 17. Now, September 7th, I'll be right over here at the Lunenburg School for the Arts, right over here in Montague, and I'll start my second 16-footer. And I'll work on that for 4 or 5 weeks, hopefully finish it by then. And as long as I have somebody to talk to the public, then I can work.
Yeah.
But when I talk, I don't get in here. So I'm hoping my wife will be there, my daughter, and whoever else I can pull off the street.
Melissa actually has an art show in Liverpool now. We did not have time, but we were there.
Yes.
We were there in the evening.
So great-grandfather would build a canoe in 7 days. Now, I can't find the birch bark in 7 days. So, you know, so I'll work this summer for next summer's project, and I already have birch bark for next summer. Roughly, if I had everything, the bark, the roots, you know, all split, everything, the ribs ready to go, I could put it together in 3 weeks. Quite easy in 6 weeks, because most of what I do is in public. So we don't, we like to share as we go. And when you get 100 people a day, you don't get a lot of work done, you know, but you have fun. I had a lot of fun. Yeah.
I truly cannot thank you enough. This was a highlight for me for a long time, and I followed you on the internet, and it's
a
dream
come true for us. And,
Yeah.
you know, my whole family is here.
They're going for ice cream.
Come here.
we know where we rank. It's
Well, you know, it's ice cream, Bluenose. It's like me trying to get people to dig spruce roots. Video games, spruce roots. So I'm on my own.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Keeping history and culture alive.
Yeah.
Here, we really appreciate what you do.
No,
We
it's it'll sink in a couple days, I'm sure, but right now it hasn't sunk in yet. But it's pretty awesome to be sailing, you know, alongside.
Yeah.
So thanks to everybody who helped out, because I know there's a lot of things behind the scenes that whoever crawls way up there.
Yes. Image.
And these people down here waiting just in case they fall. But anyway, no, it's pretty awesome.
Thank you. You want to have a look around the ship while you're here?
Sure.